and welcome to the 2023 LEAFYs. My name is Dr. Erica Albertine, and I'm the Director of Athletics here at Goshen College. Tonight we will be honoring you, our outstanding student athletes, for your academic and athletic accomplishments throughout the 2022 to 2023 school year. We're pleased to welcome Vince Turner as our Master of Ceremonies for our evening tonight. Vince has been blessed with 3 separate career paths. He spent 25 years in newspaper and radio sports at the Elkhart Truth and WTRC Radio. His play-by-play resume includes high school football and basketball, as well as 4 seasons of Notre Dame basketball. He was also the Notre Dame football correspondent for the WFAN in New York. Vince then spent 10 years as the development director at Basher's Children's Home, overseeing the missions, fundraising efforts, and leading 2 major capital campaigns. In 2007, Vince was recruited by Mutual Bank, where he served as regional manager for 12 years before retiring in 2020. He is currently the host of the Sound of Goshen podcast for the Goshen Chamber of Commerce. Vince and his wife, Pat, a retired teacher, have 4 children and 11 grandchildren. Let's give a round of applause for our MC, Vince Turner.
Good evening. Oh, it's pitiful. All right, I want you to know I've done some play-by-play for college sports as well. I've done Goshen College in Bethel. I've done Goshen College in Grace. I've seen that you can get just a wee bit rowdy. Okay, so just pretend that none of the administrators and none of the academic folks are around, and let's try this once again, okay? Good evening. That's a little better, but you know, as I was introduced and reminded of a little bit of my resume, I was also reminded of something very important that I learned on the golf course during my athletic coverage days. When I was covering Notre Dame football, they used to, prior to the beginning of the Notre Dame season, they would have, the quarterback club would host a golf tournament right before fall practice kicked off. And members of the media, the assistant coaches, other folks who were associated with the university would play in just kind of a light get-to-know-you thing before the business got down at hand. And I was having a particularly good day with my teammates in this tournament at South Bend Country Club, and we went into the 18th hole ahead in the team competition. We are sitting in the fairway on the 18th hole. I'm the guy with the 7-iron sitting in the middle of the fairway, and all I got to do is put it in the middle of the green for me and my teammates to win this tournament. Well, as I'm getting ready to shoot, a golf cart comes down the middle of the fairway, and as it approaches, I see that it's Coach Lou Holtz in this golf cart, and he pulls right up to where my ball is sitting. I'm trying to figure out what in the world he's doing. He gets out, comes over, and puts his arm around me and says, "Let me tell you something, Turner. All those people up there," and by then, everybody who was in the tournament began gathering around the 18th green. "All those people out here did not come to see you win this golf tournament." And I'm thinking, okay, I know about your mind games, little man. I'm still going to be okay. And so he drives away. I take my 7-iron and promptly pull it into the middle of the woods on the left side of the green. My partner has to chip out. My next partner misses the putt, and we lose the golf tournament by 1 shot to Coach Holtz's team. So I understand, as I'm standing at the podium here, nobody came to hear Vince talk. You all came to celebrate each other with these LEAFY Awards, and we're going to get down to it. I'd like to welcome you to the 2023 edition of the LEAFYs. We've got several awards to present tonight, but to begin, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Everence, for contributing to the success of Goshen College Athletics. We'd also like to recognize our athletic department staff that are attending their first LEAFYs as head members of the department. Please give a warm welcome to Associate Athletic Director Chad Coleman. Chad, if you would stand. Head men's soccer coach Dan Sullivan. Dan's either a real popular guy or it was a really hard practice last night. Head baseball coach Brad Stoltzfus. There is no official Goshen Athletic Department unless there is a Stoltzfus on the team. Director of volleyball Jeff Phillips. Assistant to the athletic director, Matias De Fonseca. Head bowling coach, Scott Curtis. Scott, where are you? Stand up. Scott. Scott, that's not a bowling shirt. Associate head men's volleyball coach and assistant women's volleyball coach, Wyatt Bollinger. And the director of tennis, John Beamisdorfer. Nice job. You coaches are really popular. Wow. Of course, you guys are also academics, so that means your grades are, somewhat dependent on how loud you applaud. So I noticed that all of the coaches got louder applause than the MC did. That could factor into how long the end of the day talk goes. There have been numerous highlights in the athletic department over the last year, like hiring great coaches, as we've already seen, sending the men's cross-country team and the men's and women's track and field individuals to nationals. Adding men's and women's bowling programs. Next year, Dayglow bowling shirts for everyone. Being a Champions of Character 5-star institution at the gold level after 3 years at the silver level. You ought to be really proud of that. Give yourself and of course, unveiling Dash during the homecoming weekend. My friend Kevin Deary is on the board of directors, and it's one of the reasons that I'm standing here tonight. So what I would like to do is make a request. Can you sometime during the course of this year get Mr. Deary to wear the Dash outfit at an athletic event? I think that would work out real well. The athletic director or department, of course, is thankful for all of your continuous support and efforts. Now it's time for the awards. If you win an award, please come up to the stage for pictures. Our first presenter is Synethia Millsaps. Synethia is the executive director of the Center for Community Engagement. Please joining us and welcome Synethia to the stage.
Tonight, I will be presenting the Team Service Award. This award is presented to the team that has continually served for the greater good of this community. Before announcing the winner, let's take a moment to thank all of the teams and their service efforts. Our nominees for the Team Service Award are the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team, and the women's soccer team. Our winner has served the community with service work at the Boys and Girls Club, the community efforts by providing moving services and entertainment at Greencroft. Please welcome to the stage the winners of the Team Service Award, Goshen College's women's basketball. Thank you, ladies.
Sunitha, you fit right in there. I think if we gave you 2 weeks, you could play point guard. What do you think, girls? Huh? Please welcome to the stage Kathy Meyer-Reimer, the Professor of Education and the Director of Elementary Education, who will be presenting the award for Moment of the Year.
This award is presented to the team or individual with the most notable play or moment during an athletic contest. Your first nominee for this award is the baseball team. They had a walk-off winner upset on senior day against the number 21 Taylor Trojans. The next awardee nomination is for the softball team. They provided 14 hits in an upset against number 6 Indiana Wesleyan, while Allison Catenacci threw a complete game on the mound. Next is the men's outdoor track and field 4x800 meter relay team. The quartet achieved a school record and NAIA A standard at the league meet. Then we have the men's soccer. They got into the win column against St. Francis with 2 monumental goals from Lucas Bontrager. Next up in this category is Mercy Chibet. She became an All-American in the 5,000 meter race at the Outdoor Track and Field Nationals. At the same meet, our next nominee, Nelson Kemboy, was an All-American in the 10,000 meter race at the Outdoor NAIA Championship. Lastly, we have Jenner Rodimer. He went 5 for 5 with 9 RBIs and a grand slam in Goshen's 16-0 win over Ecclesia. And the winner is the men's baseball team. Baseball's walk-off win against Taylor. In that game, Preston Anderson hit a walk-off single to score senior Nathan Lang as the Maple Leafs topped number 21 Taylor 9-8 on senior day. Taylor had just secured the outright regular season Crossroad Leads championship 2 days before. The Trojans fell to 30-6 in conference play with the loss and went on to play 4 games in the NAIA World Series after going 3-0 in the national championship opening round. Congratulations, baseball.
We got to triple up for you.
Okay, I want to know whose idea this was. You got the entire baseball team in the first 3 rows, and then you pump them up by giving them an award. I think the MC's in trouble sometime in the rest of the night. Congratulations, guys. Presenting the next award is Jesse Lowen, the Assistant Director and of the Academic Success Center.
Good evening. The Victory of the Year Award is presented to the team or individual that had a notable win, record, or upset. Here are your nominees. The men and women's cross-country teams, top 6 finishes at the Crossroads League Championships. Men and women's cross-country both winning the IU Kokomo Invitational. Men's tennis upsetting number 3 Indiana Wesleyan at home. Men's volleyball taking down number 13 St. Xavier in 5 sets. Nelson Kimboy's All-American 3,000 meter race at the Indoor Track and Field Nationals. And softball defeating number 4 Southeastern in Florida. The winner for Victory of the Year, give me a little drum roll. Yeah, that's right. Men's tennis. The Leafs won 4-3 after losing the past 8 contests against IWU, scoring 1 combined point in the previous 4 matchups. Goshen last beat the Wildcats on September 6, 2016. Mario Gomez, Insia Carapan, and Filippo Gallo won in singles, and GC took the doubles in points as well. Congratulations.
Now please welcome Jalen Rufanacht, the athletic trainer. As she presents the Maple Leaf Fan of the Year Award.
award is presented to a fan who inspires others through their love of Maple Leaf athletics and shows what it means to be a fan. Your nominees are Brielle Agnew, Cormac Coop-Lichty, Jane Metzler, and Philip Whitmer-Rich. And the winner of the Maple Leaf Fan of the Year is Jane Metzler. You can find Jane rooting for the Maple Leafs at nearly all the home sporting events and even some road ones. She truly bleeds purple and white. Thanks, Jane.
Nice job, Jane. All right. Man, you all are excited tonight. This is neat. You're acting like a bunch of college athletes who are going to get free food on Sunday night. Presenting the academic awards for the highest team GPA is Michelle Blank, the Director of Instructional Design and Academic Success.
Good evening. First, congratulations to all GC student athletes for achieving a department-wide GPA of 3.209 for the 2022-23 academic year. The highest it's been in years. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause for that. The first award will be presented to the men's team with the highest GPA over the last year. Working hard in the classroom and striving for academic excellence, this team held a 3.618 cumulative GPA for 2022-23. This year's winner is the men's tennis team. The next award goes to the highest achieving women's team with a 3.516 GPA over the last year. Give it up for the women's cross country team. Congratulations to both winners. And thank you to the rest of the teams for your work in the classroom.
I'm sad to confess that I did not win any academic applause at the University of Wisconsin. As a matter of fact, I had an advisor who talked to me about halfway through my tenure in Madison, saying, Vince, there are a lot of people on this campus who don't know what's going on. You don't even suspect anything's going on. Presenting the award for Coach of the Year is Gilberto Perez Jr., the Vice President for Student Life and Hispanic Serving Initiatives.
Good evening. The Coach of the Year award is presented to a coach that guided his or her team or teams to an exceptional athletic season. Before we recognize the nominees, let's first give a round of applause to the interim men's volleyball coaching staff from the last season. Head coach, well, I guess we'll have to, I should have read that first and then you can applaud. But head coach Jewel Lehman and assistant coach Val Hirschberger. While in interim roles, they led the team to exceed preseason expectations of finishing 9th in the conference and instead came in 7th. Thank you, Jewel and Val. The first nominee for this year's Coach of the Year award are cross-country coach Rustin Nice. He led both teams to receive votes in the NAIA End of the Year Coaches Poll and got the men's team to the NAIA National Championship for the 4th straight year. Next is softball coach Luke Wagner. He helped the team to a single season record 16 conference wins in his first season with the team. Impressive. And the winner of the Coach of the Year, oh my goodness, it's both of them.
So we are combining cross country and softball now. That will be pretty interesting. You hit the ball in the left field, you got to run 5,000 meters to first base. Presenting the Maple Leaf Character Award is Val Hirschberger, the Associate Professor of Kinesiology.
Good evening. Turn this down just a little bit. Good evening. There we go. The Maple Leaf Character Award is presented to a student athlete who exemplifies great support of Maple Leaf athletics. The nominees tonight are Gwen Bellamy. Gwen Bellamy. There we go. Good. Andy Bennett. Yep. Emily Brandenberry. Summer Cooper. Samuel Marquis. Arlette Martinez.
and Jenner Rodimer. And the winner tonight is Summer Cooper.
Presenting the awards for Men's and Women's Rookie of the Year is the Director of Orientation, Transition, and Retention, Adela Hufford.
Tonight, we will be presenting awards to the Rookies of the Year for their outstanding efforts in their first collegiate season at Goshen College. The nominees for Men's Rookie of the Year are Preston Anderson, Ishmael Bangura, Drew Hogan, and Eli Simonis. And the winner is Ishmael Bangura. So I want to let you know, Ishmael played an especially critical role during the time before Hassan Hadzik was competing and was the WHAC Attacker of the Week for January 30th through February 6th. Bangura averaged 3.47 kills per set and had a .246 hitting percentage. He was tied for third in the conference with a .35 aces per set. He was one of 6 league players to make the all-freshman team and was named first team all-conference. Our nominees for Female Newcomer of the Year are Maddie Axum, Sudie Attikin, and Bianca Diamond. Sorry, it like disappeared there for a moment. And the winner is Maddie Axum. So, Maddie is sick, but it looks like Gracie's going to be accepting on her behalf. And Levi. few stats on Maddie. She set the indoor high jump school record at the Crossroads League meet and placed second in the conference. She qualified and competed at nationals for both the indoor and outdoor seasons, placing 12th in indoors and tied for 12th at outdoors. She was the women's outdoor track and field athlete of the week for the Crossroads League for April 10 through 16. Thank you.
Time now to name the male and female athlete of the year. Please welcome men's soccer assistant coach and the founder of the Goshen City Football Club, Enrique Eichenberger.
Good evening. The nominees for the Male Athlete of the Year have all had exceptional athletic seasons, many of them being named to all conference teams and boosting team high stats. Your nominees are Hassan Hatzik, Nelson Kemboy, and Jenner Rodamer. And the winner is Nelson Kemboy. Nelson Kemboy was an All-American 3 times this year. For cross country, for the 3,000 meters during the indoor season, the 10,000 meters during the outdoor season, he was the part of the cross country school record for the fastest time among the top 5 runners, and they set the 3,000 meter indoor record for the winter. In the spring, he set the outdoor 5,000 meter record and was twice the league outdoor track and field track athlete of the year. Kemboy was first team all-conference and cross-country indoor track and field, outdoor track and field, and was voted by the league's coaches as the men's track athlete of the meet and outdoors Crossroads League Championship. Thank you. Next up, your nominees for Female Athlete of the Year. These women have achievements ranging from nationals appearances to all-conference accolades. Your nominees are Mercy Chibet, Summer Cooper, Zia Neat, and Shay Van Scooter. And the winner is Mercy Shabbat. Mercy Shabbat, she was an All-American in the outdoor 5,000 meters in just her 3rd race that season in the event. She was a part of the women's indoor distance medley relay team that placed 10th at nationals, the 4x800 team that came in the 18th place, and the outdoor 4x800 team that finished 9th, 1 spot away from being All-Americans. Congratulations.
All right, gang. A little bit of career and professional and academic advice all combined into one here, okay? Our next presenter, the difference between a blank line and a signed diploma is this person's name. So this ought to be the loudest cheer we hear tonight, okay? Please welcome President Rebecca Stoltzfus.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun, and I'm so happy to be here tonight. And it is my honor to present the John Ingold and Ruth Gunden Awards for Excellence. And those awards are named after two Goshen greats. These awards are very special because they celebrate being an all-around student athlete at Goshen College. They're presented to senior student athletes from the prior year of being a senior who have had an outstanding athletic career while also exemplifying leadership, excelling in academics, and contributing to the Goshen College community. The men's award is named after John Ingold, who is the namesake of the John Ingold Athletic Complex. You walk under his name whenever you go to watch a soccer, baseball, or softball game. He was a coach and faculty member at Goshen College for 34 years, during which time he coached 75 teams across 7 different sports. And in addition, he was the Conference Coach of the Year 13 times in 4 different sports. And John Ingold is here with us tonight. John, why don't you stand up? So here are your nominees for the John Ingold Award of Excellence. They are Kevin Bowman, Lucas Bontrager, Nate Lang, Tristan Smucker, and Samuel Stoner-Eby. And the John Ingold awardee for the 22-23 season is Lucas Bontrager. And Lucas is not here this evening, but his friend Luis is going to accept the award on his behalf. So come on down, Luis. So Ruth Gunden is no longer with us. She died in the past year. But we also play our basketball and volleyball matches in the gymnasium that is named after her. Gunden was the founder of women's athletics at Goshen College. She started the women's basketball team in 1958, well ahead of the federal law known as Title IX that mandated equality for women's sports in educational institutions. She was a champion for equality and equity in athletics, and as I understand it, really made herself known to President Minninger at the time to get things rolling in terms of women's athletics. So we all owe her a real debt of gratitude. The nominees for the Ruth Gunden Award for Excellence are Emily Brandeberry, Isabel Love, and Susanna Yoder. And the winner of the Ruth Gundon Award is Emily Brandaberry.
How about another round of applause for all of you winners tonight? You know, I've already shared that I'm not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree, but I do have some experiences that I've picked up over the years, and one of the things that I do understand is that right now I am the only thing standing between free food for college athletes and this program. So this will be short, but I hope to share just a little bit of some of the things that I've accumulated over the years. As we talked about at the beginning of this program when my introduction was made, I've been blessed with three very different but very rewarding careers. I spent 25 years covering newspaper and radio sports, migrated to Basher Children's Home where I had a chance to accomplish a sense of mission, much like you do when you take your trips abroad to find out what it's like to be of service rather than to be served. And for those 10 years, I had a tremendous, tremendous opportunity with that institution. Then I was recruited to Mutual Bank, where I had the opportunity to learn and serve as well for 13 years before entering what jokingly we call retirement, but that didn't last very long, and I've been involved in some other things since spending a year at home. But, you know, I'm an old person now, and as old people tend to do, we reminisce and we think about days that used to be. Now, I'm not one of those people that want to go back to the days that used to be. I think we live in wonderfully exciting times. And as what you've seen with the people coming to the stage here today, how exciting is it to be 18, 19, 20, 21 years old in 2023? The future is yours. But I would say that we do need to, once in a while, look at some of the characters of the past to find out how we're going to proceed in the future. By the way, there should have been one more award presented tonight. We should have some kind of badge of honor for John Ingold. I survived a night with the baseball team. That we ought to be able to do something like that. I'm going to stay away from the baseball guys at the banquet. But when I think about some of the best times, especially of my broadcast career, my favorite year was 1988. I know, it makes me old. But 1988 was a very, very good year to be a local broadcaster and writer. Among the things that happened in 1988, Goshen High School won the Indiana High School Football Championship. Concord High School, with a fellow by the name of Sean Kemp, went to the championship game of the Indiana High School basketball tournament. In 1988, Notre Dame won the National Football Championship under Coach Louis Leo Holtz. That also happens to be the last time Notre Dame won the national championship. In 1988, a fellow by the name of David Rivers was an All-American basketball player under the dome at the University of Notre Dame. In 1988, Lindsay Benko, a gold medal swimmer from Elkhart, began her high school swimming career. 1988 was a great time to be a sports writer and broadcaster. And I've never forgot the blessing that I had being able to be a part of all of those success stories and hear all of the hard work that went into those things that made 1988. And so 35 years later, that imprint is still on my heart. There are three people that I want to introduce to you from 1988 to think a little bit about your academic and your athletic and your spiritual paths. One is a gentleman by the name of Ken Meyer. Ken is Rick Meyer's father. Rick Meyer is the All-American high school quarterback who led Goshen to that 1988 national championship or state championship. Ken and I were driving to Michigan State to do a feature. I was doing a feature column on the athletic director at Michigan State, Doug Weaver, who is a native of Goshen. And Ken went along for the ride, and I almost drove off the interstate when Ken shared with me the news, this was in about 1983 or 84, that he would retire as a head football coach before his son got to the high school. And I thought, wait a minute, all of us know what Rick is going to do, and we all know what that potential is going to be. And Ken, you love coaching football. You've already won a state championship of your own in 1978. And Ken shared with me at that time that one of the reasons that he made that decision is that he did not want Rick to play and grow and succeed under the shadow of being the coach's son. Now, there have been an awful lot of successful father and son pairings in coaching. We're witnessing one of them right now with Deion Sanders and his son at the University of Colorado. There have been a lot of success stories, but Ken had made the decision that in order to be able to maximize Rick's potential, it would be best for him to step back. The word for that is sacrifice. There are times when we need to sacrifice in order to be successful, whether that is on the athletic field, whether that is in the classroom, or certainly when that is part of our spiritual direction. Sacrifice requires giving something up. One of the things I've most admired about Goshen College since I moved here in 1977, I admire your spring semester. The places you go and the people you serve, folks, those aren't field trips. Those are elements of sacrifice, and you are to be commended. So as you make your choices, for those of you who are about to go on those trips, or if you've already been on one, a round of applause for you, please. Please. But remember, sacrifice will endure for the remainder of your life. It will make an imprint, much as it did for Ken Meyer. His son stood on the championship podium. His son played at the University of Notre Dame. His son was the number 2 choice in the NFL draft. But even more importantly, in many ways, I believe, because of the sacrifices of the father, the son is now a great husband, a great father, and a great member of his community, because he understood early as being in junior high school, what it means to sacrifice. Another name that comes to mind is a young man that has remained my friend for 35 years after celebrating the national championship at Notre Dame. You can win an awful lot of trivia nights if you can answer this question. Who was the last quarterback to win the national championship at Notre Dame? There have been a lot of great names ranging from Brady Quinn to Paul Hornung and everybody in between who have played quarterback at the University of Notre Dame. But the answer to that trivia question is Tony Rice. Tony Rice was more of a running quarterback than he was a passing quarterback. He wasn't all that fancy, but he was a leader. And he was a junior on that 1988 team that was filled with high personality seniors. But Tony still took command of that team. And Tony exemplified what it means to sacrifice personal goals, to put personal goals aside, and be a leader. And Tony remains a leader to this day. He is still one of the best advocates and cheerleaders you will find for the University of Notre Dame, 35 years after leaving the campus. And then the third name I would like to talk about is a gentleman by the name of David Rivers. Didn't win a championship at Notre Dame, had some great moments. A point guard for Digger Phelps, who led an upset of #1 ranked North Carolina before a raucous group of fans at the Notre Dame JACC. In a little bit of a selfishness because of the excitement of that tape, not necessarily by the talent that was on the tape, but I was the Indiana Sportscaster of the Year as a result of that ball game, mainly because David Rivers led that upset, and if you couldn't make that broadcast sound good, you probably didn't belong in the business. But here's something about David Rivers that really struck me. David Rivers was at that time known as a Prop 48 student. In the NCAA, Proposition 48 allowed athletes who didn't meet the academic requirements, either a 2.0 or a certain number on the ACT or the SAT, to enter the university, give up a year of athletic eligibility. That's the key to remember. This was not a gift. You gave up a year of your athletic ability or eligibility. You had to prove yourself in the classroom, and then if you met those requirements, you were able to play as a sophomore, junior, and senior. When David Rivers first came to the University of Notre Dame, he was the single worst interview of a college athlete I had ever encountered. David had difficulty expressing even the simplest of his thoughts. But I knew that David had some intelligence. I knew David had some drive. What I didn't realize is David had persistence. And one of the things that happened was I had an assistant coach approach me. As a matter of fact, John Shumate, who was an All-American at Notre Dame, an assistant coach approached me and said, David would like to work on his interview skills. Would you mind sitting down with David and doing interview tapes a couple of times a week in order for him to get better? Don't use him on the air. Don't put him out for publication. Just get David accustomed to being interviewed and answering questions. The beauty of that upset, David's senior year over #1 North Carolina, 3 years after Coach Shumate first came to me, the beauty of that upset wasn't necessarily the excitement of the upset. It certainly wasn't the award that I earned that particular night. The beauty of that was sitting in the interview room and listening to an articulate, intelligent, emphatic, forceful representative of the University of Notre Dame conduct 10 minutes of Q&A that sounded as if he walked off Harvard University's campus. That was David Rivers 3 years after he arrived. So as you go out today, you're celebrating the LEAFYs. That's great. There are going to be more LEAFYs. I hope to read and hear about tremendous accomplishments from all of you who are sitting today. I'm grateful that I've been with you tonight because you are an enthusiastic bunch. But more important, I noticed how much you applauded for each other and how much you celebrate each other every time a name got mentioned. Keep that spirit. And remember the sacrifice of Coach Ken Meyer and the leadership of my friend quarterback Tony Rice and the persistence of someone like David Rivers. You keep those three things in mind as you produce or pursue your academic, your athletic, and your spiritual goals, and I guarantee you, you are going to get another LEAFY in the game of life. Thank you for being with us tonight. God bless.